Washington mornings on the Mall. 105.9 FM. And AM 630. WMAL.
8:37 on WMAL, where Washington comes to talk. It's mornings on the Mall. We're here for you every morning, 5 to 9 a.m. Larry O'Connor on this side of the mic, and on that side, usually Brian Wilson, but he's on vacation. We've got the effervescent and intelligent Tori Clark.
God bless you.
Good morning, Tori. And
morning.
Speaking of effervescent, we've got Bret Baier on the line. He's our weekly guest. Of course, we missed him last week because he was at the Pebble Beach Pro-Am, where you made the cut and really turned some heads. Congratulations, Bret.
Good morning. Hey, guys.
Hey.
If this whole anchor thing doesn't work out, you could always just take up a professional golf career.
Hardly. I tell you what, it was, I played golf in college, but I realized how long ago that was, when I got over the ball and they introduced me on the first tee, and I suddenly looked at that white ball and went, wow, I really have to move this down the fairway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nerve-wracking at times, but we had a blast, and I was with a great partner, Todd Hamilton, the 2004 British Open champion, and we made the cut. We edged out Dustin Johnson and Wayne Gretzky.
Oh, my gosh.
And we made it to Sunday, and we finished 21st out of, I guess, 130 teams.
Holy moly, that is great,
That is
Bret.
pretty impressive, Bret.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun.
Was it scarier than hosting your Sunday show? Was it scarier than what you do on a daily basis?
Yes, by far, Tori. I mean, come on, Pebble Beach, you know, the ocean on the left and OB on the right, and everybody's looking at you.
And the chance to just completely whiff it.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, that's great.
No, it was so much fun.
Well, and then you return from that amazing setting and that triumph to Washington, where we are in the middle of Hagel mania here. Everyone,
Yeah.
The world is buzzing about Chuck Hagel. You had Lindsey Graham on last night, and Lindsey Graham and John McCain have been using the Benghazi issue as a big reason for their refusal to move to cloture in the Senate, which is resulting in this filibuster situation. What did Lindsey Graham tell you last night with regard to what he has now heard from the White House on Benghazi, and is he satisfied?
No, he's not satisfied. He got, a letter from the White House counsel to one of the questions, which was, did the president pick up the phone and call the Libyans during the 7+ hour firefight that left, our folks dead on the ground, including those 2 Navy SEALs, and the answer was no. He didn't talk to the Libyans until the next day. And, Graham pointed out last night that Secretary Clinton testified that she was yelling on the phone trying to get the rescue team moving from, they were stuck at an airport for 3.5 hours trying to get in to help at Benghazi, and they couldn't get through the Libyans there on the ground. And she apparently was yelling with Libyans on the phone, is what she testified to. He believes that had the president picked up the phone, that dynamic would have changed. Now, there are other questions that he says have not been answered. For example, survivors. We haven't heard from survivors. Congress has not received the FBI interviews of survivors that were done September 12th, 13th, and 14th. They still don't have any of that, and they don't have a lot of exactly what the president did during all that time.
Now, and it seems to me that the Hagel nomination is being held up by 2 different camps. You've got the Graham-McCain camp, and they seem to be focusing on Benghazi and this sort of thing. But then you've got Ted Cruz, who he's really focusing on the money flow from potential foreign governments to American companies that paid for speeches for Chuck Hagel, and he thinks that information is relevant and should be released. Are we going to get that information, or is Ted Cruz getting any support on the floor of the Senate on this?
Yeah, I think there are multiple fronts, but I think they will all kind of fall aside in the next week. And I do think that, barring some bombshell surfacing over the next, 7 days, they'll move forward with cloture and probably have enough votes for Hagel to get through. There are a number of different reasons that senators are saying why they're holding it up, and primarily because they didn't feel like they had all the information. And then you have the Benghazi quartet that you mentioned, but I think in the end it'll move forward.
Bret, I agree. I think it goes forward. I think he gets the job. Does he come in wounded? Does he come in as an injured Secretary of Defense?
I think so. I mean, Tori, you know how big a deal it is to work with Congress.
Huge.
And he's going to be in a deal where he's going to be cutting back the Pentagon. He's going to be cutting back defense. I mean, he's going to be dealing with lawmakers who are losing things, which makes it doubly tough. So, yeah, I think he comes in wounded. He comes in after that confirmation hearing, which arguably both sides of the aisle said was not good at all. He comes in, weak.
You've watched him for years, as we all have.
Yeah.
Have you been surprised by his performance? And I know that's not the right word, but you know what I mean, by his performance, by his ability to stand up to these things over the last several weeks? Because I was. Given his experience, given what he's been through, he's always been a very articulate, passionate spokesman for whatever he was doing. I've just been surprised at a less than stellar performance through all of this.
Yeah, I think there was some kind of tiptoeing through the tulips kind of. He was being extra careful, and by doing so, he was somehow not himself, or something. I don't know what it was, but he clearly was flustered in that confirmation hearing to the point where you had Democratic senators saying, "Didn't you mean to say?"
Yeah,
right.
Starting off their questions with trying to help him out.
Yeah, and I wondered, having been, in the murder boards of preparing people for big jobs like that, for secretaries of defense, I thought to myself, boy, somebody prepared him really poorly. He did not, he's ultimately responsible, but I thought he did not get the prep he needed going into that. He seemed totally surprised, which he never should have been surprised. Nothing came up, nothing was asked, nothing was presented to him that we couldn't have all predicted.
Yeah, I just wonder also for the Obama administration, what is the real upside for the Chuck Hagel nomination? I mean, obviously it's the Republican, moniker, and a Vietnam vet, but after watching the confirmation hearing and going through what they're going through right now, I mean, are there people inside the Obama administration saying, this was the right move?
Yeah. Bret, really quickly, we're almost out of time, but on the political front, is this going to hurt the Republicans in the long run because the president can now stand up and say, these Republicans are just against everything that I want to do, they're obstructionists, and that will then give him momentum in the American public's eyes for all the other things that he wants to do?
I mean, he will do that, and that is, the equation that has worked for him, and it will likely work again. But Republicans will make a point, and they may get some information on Benghazi, in which how does that move any ball? Who knows? But there's still a lot of thread to follow, actually, on the Benghazi story, and we'll continue to follow it. We're going to work on another hour.
Oh, great.
To put up.
Oh, that's good to know.
Terrific.
Yeah, Bret, you guys at Special Report have been the best at covering the Benghazi story from day one, so thank you for that, and have a great weekend. Welcome back.
Okay, you too.
Thanks, Bret.